y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight, and welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, I had to get outside and get down and touch the ground. I am in Pack Square in downtown Asheville, North Carolina. So it's funny, this is the second day in a row where the energy of the day wants to dictate the title of the reading before I even pull out the cards. And today it's sensory overload. And for fuck's sake, has it been that? And it's pretty calm right now, but any moment now it could erupt in lots of noise, like it's downtown Asheville. So forgive if you hear a bunch of vehicles going by or whatever. Anyway, sensory overload. And it's so funny because I knew that was the title, and then all these fucking cards came out, and I try to keep it under 10 minutes because I'm uploading to like TikTok as well as the other social media sites. So if I go over 10 minutes, forgive me if you only get the first 10. So the first part of the message, it really does feel like we are healing our father wound. We come out with the King of Air reversed. And so, and it's so interesting that that's what wants to be. There's another card later on that, you know, I kind of want to end with. That is the father card in this deck. And he's over, he kind of wants to end, and there's all these other cards, but we've got this King of Air reversed, and it feels like old paradigm energy. And so to understand what the King of Air is, let's look at him upright. Upright, the King of Air, he's very committed to fairness. He's very committed to honesty. Very committed to communication, all of those things, connected to law. Sometimes he's a bit too logical, but I think he has a very strong intuition. And again, he honors fairness. He honors things to be right. In the reverse, it's not that energy. It's someone who doesn't really embrace fairness, doesn't really embrace equality, doesn't really embrace honest communication. It's more about mental manipulation and confusion and mental domination. This would be a gaslighting energy. And so this is kind of rooting down the first part of the message. And it's so funny because I started my day and I called my dad. And so where we're getting to with all this, because it is healing that father wound, it's so funny that this would come out. And like I said, I spoke with my dad today. We have come so far in our communication and honoring each other's truth. And so it was a really good conversation. So I like that this is rooting it down, but we're resolving this energy. And so it's so interesting too that then we move so deeply into the feminine. And it's a father wound because this is a king, and in between this 9 of water and this 9 of pentacles, we have the maiden reversed. And so where it's not so much an end of innocence per se, it is the end of naivety. It feels like we've been thrust into darkness, I want to say, because of this mental manipulation for so long. And now we find ourselves in this shift of human consciousness on planet Earth, and we are not going to naively kowtow to the dictates of this manipulative energy. And so we start out with the 9 of water, and this card, it has such a long dark night of the soul energy connected to it. You see that she's like all in this darkness. And what's interesting too is that a different part of the cards that came out, and I don't even know what to say about this message yet, but here is my other card for the long dark night of the soul. So both of these cards have come out. So it does feel like, you know, we, all of us, however you're taking it, have been through some sort of long dark night of the soul energy. Like it's been a long winter, and I love that here we are in spring. We're coming to the end of March, and it has been a long, harsh winter. Depending on where you're at, even if environmentally it wasn't that harsh of a winter, the inner landscape maybe experienced a harsh, you know, darkness, a harsh loneliness or whatever it is. And what I love about this card is that it really speaks to when you're finding your way through the dark, sometimes you need to look to the light within. And I love that her heart is illuminated. And once you connect to the light of your own consciousness, that's when it's like you start finding, you know, you're coming to the end of the tunnel. You know, you're coming out on the other side, the light begins to surround you. And then on the other side of this maiden reversed, we've got this 9 of Pentacles reversed. And really it just feels like not giving so much, just not giving so much. And what's next to this 9 of Pentacles reversed is the 10 of Pentacles. Well, and in this deck they just call it Earth. So 9 and 10 of Earth, both reversed. And it's connected with, you know, we give and give and give. And I'm also like all of these, I don't want to talk about everything that comes into my mind, but like, while I try not to connect too much with information on the outer world, what's going on, sometimes you can't help it, but I can't help but feel like that Nickelodeon energy and all of that is connected to, we're not just going to go along blindly and pretend that shit's not fucked up. And we're calling this energy out, and as we illuminate what's within us, we're finding that greater illumination around us, and we're bringing more awareness to this energy. We're not just going to let it blindly do whatever the fuck it wants while we be victims to it. So an end of naivety, and it feels like there's a lot of validation coming through for the traumas that we've encountered, and recognizing how this shit has affected our self-worth. When we're expected to give of ourselves and give of ourselves, giving of our innocence, giving of our trust over to liars and manipulators, you know, it affects our self-worth. And so then we come out, and then it becomes masculine again in a different way. Here we have the Apprentice, and then it's so funny because this card came out in a reading earlier today, and it gave a whole different energy than how I normally read it. And so I like with this Apprentice energy, again, these are the 2 youths in the deck. You know, this deck doesn't just have the Emperor and the Empress, it has the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, and then it has the Apprentice, the Father, and the Sage. And again, I like that we do have this father energy out. I don't think I'm going to have time to get to all these different messages, but those who wanted to speak, I think, are getting their chance. So then we emerge with this Apprentice energy. Again, I love the contrast, because these energies are all present within all of us. We are full spectrum energies and beings, but where this one is kind of that wild divine feminine following the rabbit down the hole, this one is becoming more intentional with what they're learning. In this case, he's the Apprentice. He's learning his magic, and he's got this this golden apple kind of enshrined over here as he learns to attain this wisdom. And part of this wisdom has to do with, again, it's that focus instead of placing our focus on the outside and seeking outside approval. And I always feel that with this mirror, where he's looking in the mirror, but there's this eye on the back of the mirror where it's like looking to see, am I what others approve of? Am I acceptable? Am I, you know, all of these different things? And now, but it's finding that when we do that, we get this energy back. And so it's very important to look to that light within and find our way through. And so, and something was coming through before where, with this eclipse season, you know, we just had that lunar eclipse. Now we're looking forward to Mercury going retrograde, and then after that it's the solar eclipse. And they were calling it kind of like a vacuum, where we're being pulled away from the old paradigm energy and we're moving into new energy. And so again, with this Apprentice, now where'd he go? I've got too many cards in my hand. What we're learning, what we're emerging with, and again with this emerging to the other side of the tunnel, instead of, with all that has transpired and all the transformation, now we're not looking at ourselves to make sure we're what others approve of. Now it's recognizing that eyes are on us as we embrace this process of transformation. And so you see that his third eye is illuminated, and then it's like it's blinding him to what others see, and it's illuminating him on the inside and kind of cracking him open. And so now it's like being aware that all eyes are on you. And as you embrace this process of transformation, they get to allow themselves to embrace the process of transformation. So you're doing great. I'm almost at 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now. But thank you for watching, and peace and love until next time.